Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thank you very much for watching our earwax removal video today. This lovely patient came through this week, very blocked up ear canals in both sides, very narrow entrance to the ear canals as well. What you'll see inside these canals is that we've got some very wet skin material, so lots of skin ribbons that have come away from the canal wall, all layered over the top of one another. So what we've got here is the fine end just inside this ear canal. We're just slowly teasing this skin material out. You can see we've just got a good grip on the end there. Lots of kind of wiggling up and down, just trying to stretch this material out of the ear canal now. When you have skin material like this, skin ribbons and debris in the canal, they don't always pull away really easily. So you do have to kind of work at them quite a bit to unravel them inside the canal. But you can just see this one starting to give a little bit. Still coming away. You can see how long some of these ribbons are. Don't forget the skin in the ear canal. It's basically growing almost the full length of the canal. So what you end up with is very long pieces of skin that can detach. Luckily what's happening is I'm trying to feed everything out of this canal so that we can get a grip on it from the outside. So a lot of the removal today you'll see from the outside of the ear canal. So we're managing to pull it out and just drawing this out with it. There we are. You can see another long skin ribbon coming away there. And we'll just take a look. We can see every time we bring one forward, it's actually bringing the following piece. Now, if you remember from the very first piece that came away, this actually sheared off. So what you're seeing is one continuous ribbon. We're just not able to pull it out effectively enough. Look, this is still attached. That last piece then was still attached to the bit behind it. This is more of an unusual occurrence that you see in ear canals. Obviously, you see wax quite a bit. Skin ribbons like this don't happen as often. Sometimes you'll get little dry pieces of skin that start the detachment from the canal wall, and then everything follows on from it. And that's what we can see here. But then the skin's got nowhere to go, especially with a very narrow entrance to the canal. It can't work its way out, so it ends up wrapping around itself, forming like a big knot that needs to be slowly teased apart. So just pulling on this next section now. You can see we're having to work this up and down, slowly stretching, pulling this out of the ear canal. There is a video we've done before which actually showed one of these coming out. I think it was 11 centimeters long altogether. I think if this one had stayed in one piece, that would have certainly rivaled that one because it was quite a long ribbon coming away. You can see the very wet nature to the wax around it. We're just slowing this down again now. Trying to hold on to it. There we are. That's come away. You can see it's sheared off again from the piece behind. So this is still the same skin ribbon that we're taking away here. Very slowly coming away. If you've never come across this channel before, we post new earwax removal videos every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9 PM UK time. So if you're not already subscribed, then please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you are enjoying the video, click like for me. There we are, still teasing away. Look, we've managed to work this up and down, just slowly bringing this out of the canal now. There we are, that's the end piece there. You just saw the end coming away. There's a little bit more debris left in there. We've got another piece there that's just being brought forward, so we're trying to get a grip on that one as well. Patient was really shocked by just how much of this material came out of their ear canal. There we are. And there we go, there's the eardrum there. There's a little bit of wax you can see just to the bottom left-hand corner of the eardrum there. So just in that little valley we talk about in front of the eardrum. So it's all collected there. So I'm going to try and get a grip on that section. You can see just how humid the canal is. As soon as we're putting the endoscope in there, we've got this very sort of misty, blurry look to it. There we are, I've got a good grip there. Slowly pulling this forwards. There we are, let's take in the front section. It looks like there's a little bit more behind that though. So we're going to go in now and get this last piece. There we are, can you see that piece left behind? So we're going to try and lift this out of that valley and bring it down the canal. We've got to be really careful here because you don't want to touch the canal wall. You don't want to touch the eardrum, so you're working in a very small space. Just trying to get a grip. Lifting. It's just starting to loosen at that bottom end there. See how the debris is just starting to move a little bit? There we go. Very, very gently now pulling that away. That piece now has lifted the top section out a little bit, which means we can get a good grip on that. See how humid it is in that ear canal? Obviously, we've just released all this debris. You'll see that's without the suction tube. As soon as we put the suction tube in, that clears straight away. There we are, just trying to aim for the same section again now. Getting a grip, holding on to that piece. There we go. It's just starting to move a little bit more and it's going to lift. There we go. Very, very slowly and gently pulling this out. So we want to try and take this out in one piece. We don't leave anything right down in there because it's going to be really difficult to get to. There we are. See it slowly pulling out to that space. You can see just how much was hidden down there. Now, if we pulled that too sharply, it would have sheared that top section away. And what you would have ended up with then is a really difficult piece to settle right down. Look at that. Look at all that was down inside the valley. A really difficult piece to get hold of right down in that little valley there. I'm going to take that tiny bit that's just to the bottom right corner. There we are. Perfect. Yeah, so that ear canal was lovely and clear. So we took a look in the other side. Patient very shocked at what came out, all those long skin ribbons coming away. Now we can see that the other side is a very similar story as well. So the patient has been using some olive oil in here just to soften this up. But as you know, with wax, the olive oil will soften the edge of the wax. But when you're talking about skin debris, it just makes that skin really soft and wet and kind of mushy. So it doesn't really break it down at all. So people will normally say if they've used a bit of olive oil, it hasn't really made much of a difference, or if anything, it's made things worse, because what you've ended up doing is expanding the olive oil that's sitting in between those skin layers. Imagine it's all wrapped around each other, the skin. It's all in this ball with all this sort of wax debris inside. So as soon as the olive oil gets in there, it softens the skin, expands the wax, and it just blocks everything up, and it won't really shift. And you could put things like peroxide in here and all sorts of different stuff, and it wouldn't really break that down. So what I did first of all was just sort of teased a little bit out, and now we've got a good grip on this next section now. So I'm just going to shift my position. As we're pulling this down, you can see we're working this on the outer part of the ear canal. See, it looks a little bit drier, this first piece here, so not as much olive oil gone in here, and that's also quite common. If a patient's put olive oil in one side, they're feeling really blocked up, they really don't want to put anything in the other side, because they don't want to be blocked up in both ears. So it's that little bit of a drier kind of skin material. Now, same process as before. We're teasing that out of the canal and then using that outer exposed section there to draw the next section forwards. Now, we talk about narrow ear canals like this. I did see in the comments a few people talk about ear speculum. Now, an ear speculum is like a little cone you can pop into the canal, which holds the canal open, which works great if you're using loupes or if you're using an ENT microscope. But when you're using an endoscope, both hands, one's holding the endoscope, one's holding a tool. Whereas if you're using a loupe, then you've got magnified lenses in front of your eyes, or a microscope, you're looking down the microscope. You've got that free hand then, which you can hold the speculum with. Personally, I think you get a better view with the endoscope than you do with loupes, because you get a much deeper view and you're following those tools in. With loupes, because you're looking from the outside, it's sometimes very difficult to get a really, really good view, and you certainly wouldn't be able to get good clearance down near the eardrum safely anyway, I feel, with loupes. But yeah, so the endoscope works a lot better. So a speculum wouldn't really be any use as far as using the endoscope is concerned. Just slowly pulling all this away now. You can see we've got the fine end in there, just pulling the skin debris away from the canal, drawing some of that little wax material in there as well. Very, very slowly working this down. There we go, slowed it down a little bit for you. Look at this coming away now on the left-hand canal wall. There you go. A nice big chunk of wax come away now, so we can start working on that skin behind it. Just to give you guys a heads up, I am actually taking some leave next week. We've been insanely busy since we came back from lockdown, and I had a week booked off planned anyway. So we're going to take a week off, but don't panic. I will leave you with some videos to watch. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the top 10 again. We did the first two. We're going to do the others for you as well. So you're going to have those to watch next week, and I'll be back to it again as normal the week after. There we are. So just teasing these little pieces away from the canal wall now. There we are. See it all folding into the suction. Just starting to come away. Trying to hold a steady pressure on there, slowly drawing this back down the canal to the outer part of the canal. There we go. Now we're starting to see this long ribbon. Keep an eye on it. There you go. Look at that pop away. Big chunk of skin debris there. And there's a little bit more in there. There's more to come. Now pulling down, you can see from the attic, trying to loosen, break, tease apart these pieces in there just to open this skin plug up. There we are. It's working out. Same thing again now, getting it to the outer part of the ear canal, slowing this down, watching this as it comes away. See it's still stretching out there, just broke away at the end. Let's grab it. What we tend to do is if we break away at the front, we aim a bit further back and try and pull that down. We get a better grip. You see, it's just, see how it peels apart and breaks away. It's a shame it didn't come out in one piece, but it's better to get it out. There we are, still coming. Look at that. You can see now we've got to that wider bit of the plug that was sitting much, much further down the canal. You can see its skin because of that rippled effect in the top there as well. Slowly trying to work this out. I don't want to break it. There you go. Nice big piece came away then. Let's take a look behind that now. And there's still more in there. You can see, although, don't forget your ear canal's about 2.5 centimeters, about an inch long. In some cases, about the average, and it can be quite wide. So in some cases, it'll be sort of width of your little finger, or just slightly thinner than your little finger. So you can get a lot of material in. Imagine this skin is paper thin and wrapping over itself. You can imagine that in layers in that space. This is why there's so much of it coming away. There we are, the softer material, they're just starting to break down. We're trying to pull this down. You'll see a little lump on the right-hand side of the canal wall. Lots of stuff hidden behind there. Here it comes. It's pulled over that section. Brilliant, that's come away. Let's take a look behind that now. Ooh, still more. Can you see the little pronounced, oh, the little cilla's in the way there. There's a little pronounced white bump there on the right-hand side. You get these sometimes inside ear canals. It's nothing untoward going on. It's just little lumps and bumps to the skin. But what we have is a lot of that skin debris trapped behind it. Look at it pulling over the top there as it comes away. There you go. We're just releasing it from behind that little bump. It's been trapped there for a little while by the looks of it. It's almost to the outer part of the ear canal. There we go, it's just starting to pull. Look at it pulling away from the canal. You can see just how much is down inside that ear canal there. Sheared off. Just sheared off. It's frustrating when they shear off because you really, when you start pulling these things, they can, in some cases, come out as really, really long strips. Try to wiggle this out of that canal. Feeding the suction tube onto it further to get a good grip, get a lot of it inside the suction tube. Don't forget fine ends, don't give a tremendous amount of suction. Here we go, look, it's still coming away. Long ribbon there, started to unravel the piece behind it now. There we go, working that piece out of the canal as well. And there's still more, I can still see more at the canal entrance there. Oh, it's very exciting, this. There we are, see it starting to pull away, and there we go. When you come to the end of these skin ribbons, you tend to find you get a really squishy bit of sort of wet wax at the end. There we are, there's the ear canal, so looking lovely and clear in there. Look how misted that got though. Watch when I put the suction tube in, instant clear, because all that sort of humidity in the canal there. So this is what we remove. Now bearing in mind these ear canals were absolutely tiny. Look at the length on some of those pieces. Goodness me, we've got 12 centimeters. I've got to dodge out the way of the camera. Just underneath 5 inches of skin debris, I'm sorry there. Look at the length of some of those. You're like 2.5 centimeters, 2 centimeters. I can do it in centimeters. I can't do this in inches, guys. But you can see just how big some of those pieces were, and that was a really really narrow canal, lots of all this in it. Patient was over the moon to get this done. Really, really pleased to have that taken out of their ears, and really shocked that they had all that build-up in there as well. Well, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, then please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And if you did enjoy it, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. Drop some comments in the comment section below. I do read everyone as well, as much as I can do anyway. Yeah, as always, guys, take care, and we'll see you next week now for the top 10.